be sharing some of my top favorite travel beauty tips. As some of you might already know, I did take a 2-week vacation to Europe this summer, and I actually did get engaged out there, which was very exciting. But I did already do a video focused on how I packed my carry-on for that trip, so if you're curious about that, I will go ahead and link that video down below. But in that video, I did mention that I want to do a separate one just totally focused on the beauty aspect in terms of like packing tips, ways to save space, some of my favorite products that I brought with me, maybe even some things I wish I would have done a little bit differently before I left for the trip. So hopefully this is going to be helpful for you guys. So let's go ahead and just get started. So the first thing I want to jump into is the cosmetic bag that I brought. Now for any of you that have been watching any like travel beauty videos, I'm sure this bag looks incredibly familiar. It is very popular across YouTube, and that is how I discovered it. It's just this little kind of waterproof bag that I got from Amazon. It comes in a bunch of different colors, and I'll go ahead and link it below. But what's really unique about this is that, first of all, it is a drawstring, so it's not something that's really structured and bulky. It was really easy to kind of like squeeze into my bag without it taking up a ton of space, basically. Now, the main reason I went with this cosmetic bag is because it does give you the option of storing your brushes in a way where it's going to keep their shape. It's not like a canvas bag where, you know, you're kind of like shoving them in there and then the shape gets all weird and it just is not a good look. So what I like about this one is that it has these little slots so that you can actually stand the makeup brushes up. Now, one thing I don't like about this bag is that if you look inside of it, it does have a dark brown lining, which I appreciate in the aspect that it doesn't get stained really easily in there, but it easily becomes like a dark hole where you cannot see anything. It's not so bad, I'm sure, if you're going to be staying in just a couple of hotels. Like, it may not even be a big deal, but if you're going to be hopping across a ton of different hotels like we were, this easily became a little bit of a nightmare because it's very deep. So when I was like, you know, doing my makeup every morning, I found myself just literally pulling so many things out, and it just got really messy and disorganized. I would definitely recommend separating your products in little Ziploc baggies, which is what I ended up doing. I initially had a lot more in here, and then once I started like using the bag more, I just realized I needed to organize it a little bit better. So I ended up using Ziploc bags like separately for my blush. I had one just for like face products, one for just eye products. That way I could just easily kind of put them out on my counter or vanity and be able to see everything at once rather than like taking it out one at a time. Yeah, number one tip I would say when it comes to your clothes and your makeup is bring extra Ziploc bags. Even if you feel like you are super organized when you're packing it, trust that when you're actually traveling, you're gonna wanna reorganize it. For my liquids bag, I ended up bringing this one from the Container Store. This is like the TSA 1 quart size approved bag, and it is see-through. I was able to pack a ton of things inside of this bag. Try to include some more affordable items. I know that sometimes your first instinct is that you want to bring like the best of what you have, but honestly, if you can save money on lotion, on face wash, go to CVS, you know, go through the travel section, just because there actually were a few times when I was not allowed this bag on the plane, even though it's totally see-through and worked on most of my flights. There were a few international flights where they made me empty my liquids into a smaller bag, and I had to get rid of some. I had a cheap face wash that I got rid of. Jordan got rid of like a body wash she got from CVS, so it wasn't like, you know, having to throw it out. It still sucked, but it definitely hurts a little bit less if you bring some affordable items with you, that if you do have to get rid of them or security doesn't let you through with them, it doesn't hurt as bad having to throw them out. Okay, so next I want to get into some space-saving tips, and one of them being these little tiny mini silicone little guys. Now, I know these are really popular. I always see these inside of CVS, but the ones inside of CVS are a little bit larger than these, and they're more expensive. I feel like they're like $8.99 or something crazy like that. These were way more affordable. I got a set of 3 of them from Amazon, and I'll make sure to link them down below. And even though they are a little bit smaller than a lot of the other silicone squeezy tube things that I see, they packed a lot. I still had a lot of products left over. Another thing I really loved were these super slim mini spray bottles that I got from the Container Store. They do come in a set of 2, and one of these has my detangling spray and the other one has my heat protectant spray, because the mini size versions of any hair product are quite bulky. So this just made it 100 times easier just to kind of empty my full size into these little guys. and they barely take up any room at all. The same with these guys. I had a ton of products still left over after the trip, even though I use these quite a bit. So they do pack a little bit more than what meets the eye, and you can put so many things in here, like facial toner, makeup setting spray, anything you can imagine that can be sprayed out of a bottle, you can pretty much put in this guy, so love those. Another must-have were these little mini tubs, and they come in so many different sizes. They're super cute and adorable, and obviously save a ton of space. And I put everything in here, from like my gel to my face cream. I have some lip scrub in here, exfoliator, things like that. And another thing I did too, to make sure I would be able to know which was which, because obviously some of these do look very similar inside of the jar, was I just used some of these dollar stickers that I got from Target. I think it was like a stationery sticker set that I bought some time ago, and I actually used those. So for instance, this is the Tatcha water cream, and for this one I just used like this little bluish green leaf sticker because it reminded me of the packaging. I thought that was a good kind of last minute hack. To help save myself some space on liquids, I did pack a Dove bar of soap with me for the trip. I honestly do regret that though, because it got really sticky and disgusting and just was not good. It ended up making more of a mess and be more of a hassle than it was an actual help. So I probably would recommend bringing a regular body wash. And then another thing too, if you're trying to save on liquids, is to consider bringing a solid cleanser. This one is a paper cleanser by Eliza, and it comes in this super chic packaging, but these are basically little cleansing pieces of paper. Let me show you. They look like that. So you just add water to these. They turn into like a very mild, kind of milky type of cleanser. They feel really, really good on the skin, and it's just another great way to help save yourself on some liquids. One thing I was so happy that I brought with me, I was debating how necessary this actually was, but I'm so happy that I went through with it. It was this travel mirror from Amazon. It's a little light up mirror, and it is battery operated, and it has a little stand here in the back so you can just set it on your vanity. And I got this because I wasn't sure how good the lighting was going to be inside of the hotels. Like, you know, some hotels the lighting is really dark and dim and you can't really see yourself, and then you go out in the daylight and it's like fright night. This just allowed me to kind of set it out on my vanity, take my time, and just feel a lot more confident getting ready for the day because I could actually see myself in this mirror. Okay, so next I'm gonna jump into some of my favorite makeup and skincare products that I brought with me. I'm not getting into every single thing that I brought, but I just wanted to pick out my favorites. And the first one being this cream by Avène. This is the Hydrants Optimal SPF 25 for sensitive skin cream. I use this every single day and I really do love it. It's a good hydrating cream. It's not greasy. It has no fragrance added to it, so it's great for sensitive skin. I knew it wasn't going to break me out, and I also knew that it was just going to keep my skin looking supple and soft throughout the day. For foundation, I actually brought 3 with me. I brought the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation. This was my most full coverage option. And then I also brought the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This isn't the best if you need something super full coverage, and it is more of like a natural to dewy finish. So I loved mixing the both of these because I feel like this gave me a little bit more radiance and kind of a natural look to the skin, where this helped really add some extra coverage in the areas that I needed. But above those two, I have to say the #1 favorite foundation I brought with me was this one by Amore Pacific. This is the Amore Pacific Age Correcting Foundation Cushion with SPF 25. I got mine in the shade Light Medium 204. I absolutely fell in love with this. What is amazing about it is that usually when you think of cushion foundations, you think of a really strong white cast and usually very little coverage. It is not that way at all with this. This has very good coverage. I want to say light to medium. Highly recommend this one. It looks natural, but also has great coverage at the same time. For concealers, I brought the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealers. I brought 2 in 3N and 2W to kind of just mix and match, but these were really good because they're more light to medium coverage. They're not anything like the Tarte Shape Tape or anything like that. And what's nice about these is that they're more of a hydrating formula. So they have good coverage, but they also didn't dry out my under eyes. For powder, I brought the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder in the shade #2. This is another amazing powder that has a little bit of coverage. It's not like a powder foundation by any means, but it doesn't look powdery on the skin. It gives a very soft, natural finish. I think it's great if you have textured skin, mature skin, and a lot of powders look heavy on you. This was amazing. It was the only powder that I brought with me. For nighttime, I brought the Tarte Maracuja Oil, and I love this stuff. I use this every single night as a moisturizer. I think night oils are definitely the way to go, especially while traveling, because your skin gets dried out quite a bit, especially when you're hopping on a lot of different flights and you're running around all day. So this is just a really good softening oil that really penetrates the skin, and I just love the way my face looks the next morning after using this guy. Another random thing too are these Pacifica underarm deodorant wipes. Our days were so packed with tours and sightseeing that we didn't really have a chance to like come back to the hotel and lounge and take a shower before dinner because we were running around so much. So these were just an easy way to kind of refresh ourselves throughout the day. Plus they are infused with deodorant, which is really nice. They have a really kind of soft, sort of sweet coconut smell, so they smell really good, but they were just kind of an easy way to sort of do a mini refresh throughout the day. Next, I want to jump into some on-the-go products. So these are things that I made sure to keep with me while I was running around. I had them in my purse at all times. And the first, of course, being my trusty oil absorbing sheets. I cannot go a single day without these guys, so of course I had to have them. I also brought some little shout wipes. Another thing that I got from the Container Store, my second favorite place in the world other than Disneyland at this point, is this little mini compact mirror. First of all, it's really sturdy. It's not anything like super fancy that's gonna break easily, but it also has two different sides. So one side is a regular mirror and the other side is more of like a magnifying mirror. For touch-ups throughout the day, I brought this little mini Laura Geller Balance and Brighten powder. So I guess I did bring another powder on the trip, but I didn't really use this for getting ready in the morning. It was just to keep in my purse if I ever need to like touch up my face, because it is a more full coverage powder. And then to touch up my face with, I brought the e.l.f. highlighting brush. For lip balm, I brought my favorite formula in the world, but it was in my absolute least favorite scent or flavor in the world. It's by Sunbum. It's their just regular lip balm with SPF 30. I love this formula. It's very buttery and silky. I love that it has SPF in it, but I accidentally got the pineapple scent, which I kind of hate. I love the coconut one, but I think I just grabbed it so quickly. Like I was in a rush and just grabbed it, and I still used it nonetheless because I do like the formula, but yeah, I wasn't a fan of that scent. Another thing I would recommend is to bring a baseball cap with you because the weather is very unpredictable. Definitely for the sake of your makeup and your hair, bring a baseball cap, just shove one in your bag and keep it with you as you're running around, just so you can kind of protect all the hard work you put into your face that morning. Lastly, I want to get into some of my favorite in-flight beauty essentials. So these are things that I kept with me, right next to me, all throughout the flight. And the first one being these little eye gel patches that I got from the company Look At Me. I actually think I got these in a set from a past boutique subscription box. And these are their Hydrogel eye patches with Aloe Vera. They're very hydrating, they're gentle, they're soothing. They just were so easy to just pop on my under eyes. I didn't only just use these on the flights, but all throughout my trip, just to give my under eyes some extra hydration and love, and I really like these. For moisturizer, I used the Glam Glow Hydrating Treatment. This I slathered all over my skin the second that the flight took off. Like I took everything off of my face. Not that I wore a lot of makeup to the airport, but I removed everything with some Bioderma and my Shiseido cotton squares. And then I just slathered this all over my skin. It kind of feels like baby food because it's really thick and cushy, but it smells really good. And it just kept my face just super soft and supple and nourished. I cannot recommend this enough. For hand cream, I brought this guy by L'Occitane, some of my favorite hand cream in the world. This one in particular was actually a gift from my future mother-in-law, Kim. So big shout out to her. I did use this throughout the flight. And then I also used this Sally Hansen cuticle cream. This is a little bit of like a denser cream just for the cuticle area. I love this stuff. I've gone through a bunch. And then of course I had to bring my mini Max Fresh disposable toothbrushes to keep my breath fresh throughout the flight. Okay guys, so that is pretty much it. I hope that you guys did find this helpful. I know it was a lot of information. The only other thing that I kind of just want to quickly add on is just remember, if you are packing makeup for, especially for an international trip, less is more. Don't get overexcited. I know it's easy to want to pack like 4 blushes and 3 mascara. Like, just pack 1 of each. Really try to pare it down. And then also make sure to test everything out before you bring it on your trip. And I know that might seem like a no-brainer, but with all the cute packaging in the world and samples in the world, I know it's easy to see something and get excited and think I'll just bring this on the trip. But if you have a reaction to it, or it has an ingredient like, say, mineral oil, which I happen to be kind of allergic to, and you get a crazy breakout, like, it's just not going to be a pretty picture. So test everything out, give your skin a chance to really see how it reacts to it. And that is pretty much it. I hope you guys, again, did enjoy this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.